YouTubers. Good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you're watching this transmission in this beautiful world of ours. 'Tis I, Mike Martins, broadcasting to every English-speaking country in this world. Australia, New Zealand on board, Canada, the United States, and the UK. Targeting housing crisis crunch that is affecting every citizen in every one of those countries. And Jamaica's on board too with the housing crisis that they're facing in Jamaica. And for those of you that don't know, Jamaica does speak English. It was a former British colony. And I am having internet issues here. The whole town is. I don't know if it's a nationwide thing or if it's going across or what is happening with the internet, people. Sorry, I'm just closing a pile of windows I have open here. And I just want to get this show kicked off today. And everyone's rolling into the comment section. Hello, people. People that are going to be trolling in the comment sections will get blocked. And I'm going to start skinning the fat off my channel. I'm not on YouTube to become famous. I'm not on YouTube to make money. And I'm not on YouTube to, to be bullied or pushed around by people coming on and, I don't mind people challenging arguments and giving constructive criticism on what's happening in the situation that we are facing. And if you don't think we're in a situation, then that's good for you. God bless. But for those that are looking at the situation from afar, whether you own or you're selling or you're buying or you've been waiting on the sidelines for 100 years, let's find out what's going on. And I want to thank Vadi, Owen, George Pereira, Eric in the house here in the comment section. Comments will be rolling. So already got quite a few people viewing. I got my beautiful lemon water, and it's beautiful sunset here in Merritt. It is like 22 degrees, 20 degrees outside. I got all the windows open. So if you hear background noise, that's kids playing floor hockey outside. Floor hockey. Yeah, something that no one does anymore in Vancouver. Tons of kids playing in the cul-de-sac here. They're like having an entire hockey match. Just like 5v5 goalies and all these kids playing and passing the ball around. I love it. Anyways, that's something I didn't get in the city. I never heard kids playing outside when I was living in the city. And I was in a townhouse in a cul-de-sac. In a cul-de-sac too, right next to a park. Park was always empty. And when you go out and see kids, there's no kids playing. I took my kid out to the parking lot in the townhouse and started playing hockey. Oh, you're gonna damage one of the cars, buddy. If I damage this car here that's worth $900, I'll just buy it from him. Don't worry. If I damage anything, I'll pay for it. So that's now all these kids outside playing, all this laughter and happiness. My kids up on the balcony watching them play, and they're like, "Why? I can't wait to grow up to play with those kids." You know what I'm saying? Brody's on, Bordy's in the house. Sorry, Bardy is in the house. Loving the vids you're putting up. Here we go, people. Trends in the housing market today is the 26th of April, 2018. 10 p.m. on the East Coast still. 7 p.m. still here, and today's still Wednesday on my side. But for people watching in Australia and New Zealand and London, welcome to Thursday morning. Property prices. Let's kick off Australia really quick because I missed Australia last time. Property prices dip 8% as credit falls, warns Morgan Stanley. So prices are dipping in Australia. Someone says, Mike, when you get a chance, I'd like you to talk about the gas hikes. I like a pattern for 2006. Yeah, you know what? I did a video about that. It's like my 2 videos ago under my Rants and Lifestyle. Go to my channel. Go to Rants and Lifestyle. You'll see this. You see the red title beside me here, where it says trends in that. You'll see gas 160 something, whatever. Go look at that. I actually go in depth on the gas prices and how much is taxed and what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Oakville Construction's in the house, people. Okay, so let's kick off Australia, guys. Let me get this article out of the way. Prices dip 8% as credit falls, warns Morgan Stanley. The outlook for residential property continues sliding to new record lows, with prices expected to slump about 8% and lending to fall more than 1/3 by 2018, according to investment bank Morgan Stanley. Tough macroprudential controls, rising funding and compliance costs, and tougher credit worthiness check on property investors will contribute to loan growth falling from 6% to 4% despite household debt rising, it warns. Mind you, unlike all the other English-speaking countries, Australia has had wage increases, like decent wage increases in the last year and a half, where countries like Canada and I'm not talking about minimum Mickey Mouse wage, I'm talking about like real wage increases, you know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, every other English-speaking country, minus other parts of the States, is suffering with this huge wage gap that we're going through right now. The bank's model's 6 core housing growth criteria, ranging from expectations to credit availability, has fallen 9 basis points, a new record, more than 10 basis points higher than the most recent nadir in March 2016. So we're going back to the numbers. So a lot of people that bought at the wrong time are seeing the equity or anything they built up over the last year and a half completely disappear into smoke, according to what this article is saying. Brody signing off comments says, wish I could stay and watch, but gotta get back to work in order to survive this nightmare city. Keep up the solid work, Mike. Anthony is in the house. Check out his channel. Yes, he's got a really good channel, him and his wife. Anyways, so financial review. So that's what's happening right now in Australia. Prices are dipping, and they're in line from what they were in March 2016. So it looks like anyone that bought within that gap of a year has seen their equity or the price or their increase pretty much dissipate or go up in smoke. This article is from the future. It's actually from tomorrow's date. Mind you, it's tomorrow in Australia. Let's move on. 1 in 5 Australians have no cash saving to fall back on. So, savings to fall back on. Rainy day fund. Who is saving and has an emergency rainy day fund? Rainy day funds are crucial. Without a proper rainy day fund, guys, you know, it's really scary, you know, to know that 1 in 5 Australians have no cash savings to fall back on. That's huge. Financially challenged Australians are cutting in fine with their finances, and many leaving themselves with little to no savings to fall back on in case of an emergency, a new report has found. BT Financial Group's latest consumer index examined the financial habits of more than 2,000 people, revealed the following. 21% of people have no savings. 23% have at least 1 month of saving. 56% have no more than 1 month of savings. So how is that working out? Why is this happening? So, Oakville construction, signs up everywhere here in Oakville. Mattamy Homes coming this spring, condos from 300 large. So, people, what I'm going to start doing is, if you guys wanna talk on the show, instead of having just cold call open lines, because I have cojones. I could go on there. I could have this thing live. I don't care who calls. I'm not scared of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not scared. But it's just when a lot of, you know, crank calls start coming in and stuff, it just slows the show down and people lose interest in watching. So if you want to email me and you know what time the show is on your, whether you're in Australia, whether you're in New Zealand, or wherever you are in Ontario or London, you know what time it is there when I start. So if you could free up that time and leave me, send me your number, I'll be more than happy to call you guys. And I'll keep it anonymous, of course. And we could discuss your neck of the woods and what's happening in the housing crisis. I don't mind opening up back open lines, but I got to figure out how to get rid of the call waiting, and I have to figure out how to get things straightened out, because the amount of crank calls that I get on some shows, it is entertaining to a point, and then it gets to a point where it starts to get old. So people are saying, Owen's saying, prices drop then, prices need to go down further. Waiting for condos for rent signs, probably 2 units, 300,000 with 500 people in line for 2 weeks. Wow. So this is what's happening in Australia. People are spending. Are you wasting your money in discretionary spending? Discretionary. Wow, learning a new word today. Interest rates remain at historically lows, which remained a positive for those paying off mortgages, but negative for those relying on interests to return on cash savings. So back in the day, remember ING Direct, Save Your Money? Remember all those places where they were paying 4.5, 5, 6% on your account? That was a good payback, and that was really good. You had $1 million, you get paid $60,000 a year. You have $2 million at 4.5%, you're getting $45,000 a year. So $2 million on 4.5. Sorry, you're getting $80,000 a year. Sorry, but after taxes. But $71,000 after tax. But that's really good. You know what I'm saying? Your money used to pay you money. Your money would give you money because the money was worth something. But now what has happened? So Oakville Construction. Everyone's commenting here. Woo! Comments are rolling. Let's move on. So 1 in 5 Australians. Look at this, people. 1 in 5 Australians have no cash savings to fall back on. This one here is for RNZs from New Zealand. This was sent to me by Deborah. Deborah sends me stuff all the time from New Zealand. She watches my show. They watch me at work. They're watching me live at work. In the office. Okay. That's really good. Oh, God. Let's continue. Our homeless community is going to be bigger than ever. Like, this is like, yeah, you know, here, let's put a little chant here. I know, and I know you guys like the USA chant. Calm down, calm down. Anyways, so, it's like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? I've received close to 500, maybe more. I'm not even exaggerating. I'm being very conservative. Of people struggling in New Zealand beyond what you could imagine. So somebody in Oakville Constructions wants me to play If I Had $1 Million song. No, because you know what's going to happen? If I play that song, YouTube will open up the video for more people to view, so the people that made that song could get paid. And then if I remove the song from the video, it says on the thing, if you watch my videos daily, it says, your video will not be viewed anymore because you removed the song and we're not paying the artist. Anyway, something just fell down my stairs. Rose! Anyways, something just fell down my stairs. It sounded like a toy. Okay, let's continue here. I just wanted to put this, I want to adjust the, okay. So, kind of want to put this out there because it's kind of important, guys. Groups working with homeless people are bracing themselves for another grueling few months as winter sets in. That's right. Southern Hemisphere, folks. You think the South doesn't have winter? They do. Unless you're close to the equator. Unless you're living in Darwin. I think Darwin's okay. Emergency housing providers said the need for homes in the colder months is just as high as previous years. The urgent plans must be made to ensure people were sheltered. DePaul House, based in Auckland's North Shore, has been housing people for 32 years, and manager Jen Rutledge said that this year would be just as tough as last year. It's very hard to gather what the need will be, but it's certainly anecdotally somewhat that we are really concerned about. Who the hell even talks like that? Anecdotally. Anyways, demand, peaks in winter. And in terms of our service, it's still really disgracingly, sorry, I never use these words, easy to fill our spaces. We do have wait list, and for 23 places for families that we have, they are pretty much continually at full capacity. The 2013 census showed more than 41,000 people were without homes or living, what? 41,000 people? were without homes or living unsustainable or overcrowded accommodations. More than 6,000 people are waiting for a house by the Ministry of Social Development's Social Housing Register. The social housing system is really complex, and unless you have an advocate, your needs are often not captured accurately. Holy crap. This is a really long article. Holy crap. That was in 2013 census said there was 41,000 people without homes. Well, but New Zealand doesn't really have that big of a population. So that could be like 1 in 40 people or 1 in 25 people. I gotta check what the ratio would be to that with the actual population of New Zealand today with the 2013 census numbers. That's enormous. Mike, can I recommend you to copy and paste the text into speech? Someone says, give me a shout out, please. Make my day. Oh my god, FU is here. FU is in the comment section, guys. Yes, he's always in the comment section. Every time he gets removed, he finds a way to come back somehow. And on the Walking Journey channel, he's always on there too, making sure everyone's there. Now look at this one. This is from tomorrow's date. Actually, it's yesterday's date. Sorry. UN's shocking by New Zealand's record on housing, child poverty, and incarceration. So the UN is like an absolute shock that a first world or a westernized or whatever you want to call it country is in this state of breakdown. In a state of breakdown. New Zealand's child poverty, inadequate housing, incarceration, and violence has shocked a United Nations committee reviewing the country's human rights record. Guys, New Zealand is not doing well, guys. I've been talking about this. They got a new parliament in place. Wayford, I forgot the guy's name. The housing minister in New Zealand, Tom Wayford. Okay, he's really working to try. They're putting the ban on foreigners to buy. And they're working to... Mike, copy and paste the article into a text speech, please. Well, it's fine. I'm just going as I go, and I'm stopping when I want to go. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm come and go, right? So it's very entertaining what's happening with Phil Tyford. Is that his name? I can't even remember his name. If anyone in the comment section can tell me who the housing minister is in New Zealand. So new party is putting it in New Zealand. They got voted in on housing. Now they're banning foreigners from buying in New Zealand. And all these people are crying, boo, hoo, hoo. And I'm like, well, try going back to the country you're from and having me to go there and buy something in your country. So someone's commenting, I honestly can't believe you think you know about the market. It's funny as F. Oh, I don't know anything, guys. And I'm just reading a few articles here on what's going on. So I don't know why I'm getting trashed in the comments section here. Yeah, I think I'm doing okay. His name is Soapi. I think I'm doing okay because I don't have any debt. I own my house free and clear. I own my 2 cars free and clear. My business is free and clear. And yeah, I think I made the right moves, and I've been retired since 2006. Yeah. With no assistance and suing somebody for money or no. I mean, I'm talking about making the right moves, power moves, in markets, doing different things and other events. So, anyways, so, you know, go ahead and make fun of me. That's okay. Anyways, okay, so I'm gonna okay, so I'm just taking care of business here, guys. Give me a second. So someone's saying retiring doesn't mean you're financially well off. Well, you know what? So somebody's really trashing me here in the comments. So I just got removed. I just removed him from the comment section, and I'm gonna ban him from the channel. Why would you want to watch? Why would you want to watch someone that doesn't know anything, and then go on there and then make fun of them on top of it? I'm trying to go out here and do something about this, and for the last 6, going into 7 years, you know what, that I've been talking about this housing crisis we've been going through, and you know, and it's really bad. You know what I'm saying? It's really bad. You know, when you know, I have no education, and I always have people that want to negate everything. It's like, you know what? I don't have to do this. I don't have to. I don't have to do this. I have my house free and clear. I have a house in Portugal free and clear. You know what I'm saying? So I've been retired since 2006, doing really well. And the other person in the comment section retired at 17, so I want to... Mano Jabba just came into the comment section. Yep. Anyways, let me continue here. So, UN shocked by New Zealand's record on housing, child poverty, incarceration. So, yeah, that's not that good, you know. You know, that's really bad, and the UN is in total shock. Someone's commenting here, I hope interest rates go up to 4% in 4 months, again, like in the 1980s. Mike, don't waste your energy on fools, but stay on talking about the housing market. Yeah, it's trends in the housing market, guys. We're not going to talk about 17-year-old retirees here on the show. Anyways, let's move on. New Zealand's in a hot water right now. And you guys have no idea with the meth testing homes and families having to be put in hotels. CMHC, Canadian real estate is at a high degree of vulnerability right now. This is from our friends over at Better Dwelling. This is a really good article. Canadian real estate markets are at high degree of vulnerability, according to the Crown agencies, the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, CMHC. The government agency is charge of assisting with mortgage liquidity. Finished its first quarter assessment, Q1 people. The assessment notes a high degree of vulnerability for the country's major markets. The reasons cited varied by region, ranging from overvaluation to overbuilding. I think it's overvaluation is the problem, and unaffordability. Overbuilding was never an issue. It was more of affordability and that was a big, and wages. So that was a huge reason, and they should really put that into their findings, because affordability is huge. Canadian real estate is highly vulnerable. Canadian real estate prices remain highly vulnerable, according to the government-backed agency. They first detected price acceleration for the first quarter of 2016, and it's been accelerating ever since. Price acceleration is movement in price that is stronger than fundamentals warrant. The agency determines that this 3-year rolling window, meaning prices have been climbing nationally for quite some time. The agency did acknowledge the regional disparities, and especially in Ontario and BC, they noted both provinces had centers that were highly overvalued and possessed a high degree of vulnerability. If only we could guess which markets these are. So here it is. Overbuilding. So this is a really good article, and this is why I brought it up. Here it goes. There's Canada as a whole, overvaluation, price acceleration, overassessment. Then you go to every city. Victoria, Vancouver is overvaluated. and overall assessment. And then you go to Edmonton. Edmonton's problem is overbuilding. And then you go down to Saskatoon. Oh, low over. Okay, so it's below. It's below. Sorry, it's red. Sorry. And then Regina, Winnipeg, Toronto. This is a really good. So low, moderate, high. So sorry, the bottom of the graph says low. So overheating is. So basically, Victoria is moderate. Vancouver is moderate. And over-evaluation is very high, according to this graph, in the city of Vancouver. Oh my God. I gotta stay awake here for you guys. Gotta stay awake. BC government to give cities power to create rental-only zoning cracks down on presale flipping. So guys, we're gonna let's dissect this article really good, because I've never heard of this in my life. I mean, I've heard of bizarre laws that were passed, and BC government to give cities power to create rental-only zoning. So they want to zone areas on rental only. That's it. You could only rent in that zone. Cracks down on pre-sale flipping. Huh. I've never. If anyone has in the comment section could comment whether or not they've heard of this before, I would like to know. So, legislation. Give municipalities leeway over processes. Increasing maximum fines for illegally flipping by what? So if you illegally flip a house, maximum fines will be up by 1,000%. Do you remember, guys, when shadow flipping was happening? And shadow flipping where I would sell to my neighbor in... Okay, I would be in a foreign country. I would buy a house over the phone. Pa. And if you think you can't do it, look at the new thing they have in China where people could buy housing. Like Amazon. You could put it in your checkout box and check out and buy the house. So that was a few weeks back. And then all the other news articles after I posted it and discussed it from Better Dwelling, all the other news cycles started breaking the news after. It's like, you gotta get on this, guys. This is important stuff. Amazon-style buying houses. So you'll be somewhere, oh, I'm gonna get some milk. Oh, look, I'm gonna get this DVD player. Oh, I'm gonna get that video game. I'm gonna buy this house in North Vancouver and check out, buy. And if you don't believe it's happening, look it up. It's on file. And, yeah, Australia proper, leaving the cities. This is from my my man down south who gives me input, my boots on the ground, Anon, A-N-O-N. He's in the comment section there. He's basically my source down under. And telling me that a lot of Australian proper and are leaving the cities. So, okay, let's get back to this. So, guys living in Australia, New Zealand, all those other places, look at this, okay? The article I put up yesterday got a lot of hits and a lot of discussion, which I like very much. Thank you for that. Where they're taxing empty homes. So if you leave your house vacant, you're being taxed. And everybody all over, from UK, from Ireland, sorry, Ireland is, never mind, United States, from California, from God, was that Auckland, New Zealand, Christchurch, New South Wales, people were messaging from everywhere saying that is the greatest thing that the Vancouver mayor has done, is taxing empty homes. And everybody liked that idea. You know. Anyways, yeah, Canada's being flooded with immigrants too. Yes, that's why I left the big city. It was out of control, and it was really hard to make ends meet. Well, no, I made ends meet. But if I'm spending $2 million on the house, I'm buying a house worth $2 million. I'm not buying a teardown for $2 million. I'm buying a house with a helicopter pad and a swimming pool and a tennis court for $2 million and walls around my house for $2 million. I don't have a problem buying a house for $2 million. I'm not spending on a house that's worth realistically $300,000. If you have a problem with that, then there's other channels you could go find. You could find your dream and believe that this is all normal. People are being massaged into believing all this stuff is normal. So I don't have a problem with immigrants. I'm an immigrant. You know what I'm saying? So, and when people comment, like that other guy was commenting, what's wrong with foreigners buying? It's like it gets to a point where things get out of control, right? I'm a foreigner. I was going to buy a house in 3 different countries. And they told me, get the F out of our building. You're an outsider. You can't buy in our country. So it's okay. It's happened to me too. I mean, I could discuss this, you know. It's happened to me too. No communication. People are so unfriendly here in Sydney. No eye contact, no chit-chat. Yep. If you watch my video, Anon, and others, I invite you guys to watch 10 Reasons Why I Left Vancouver. That was my #1 reason. Antisocial. And when I wanted to meet women, I would just leave the country. I'd go to Thailand for 3 months. I went to Taiwan a few times. I went to Cambodia. I've been to Brazil like 20 times. Like, I'm not talking about the Latin American countries. I mean, I've been to all of it. I've been to Brazil 20 times. I've been to Africa many times. I would go out to meet women and kind of mingle and stuff. I would have to leave my city because you can't do it in a city like Vancouver. Someone saying, you're right, bro. Toronto is so cutthroat. It's the big cities. Big cities are becoming very antisocial hubs. And if you can't hear it, I don't know if my mic's picking up, but there's kids right now. The sun's setting, and there's kids playing hockey outside right now. Lots of kids, and I love that noise. That helps me sleep at night. And let's read this article on how they're going to do this, okay? Let me reread the title for people that are listening through podcast. BC government to give cities power to create rental-owning zones cracks down on personal flipping. Legislation giving municipalities leeway over processes, increasing maximum fines for illegally flipping by 1,000%. So your fine will go up 1,000%. Local governments in BC could soon have power to zone areas for rental housing. Municipality Affairs Minister Selena Robinson introduced a local government status residential rental tender zoning amendment act in legislature Tuesday, which would give municipalities the following powers: zone undevelopment and land for rental housing, or mandate a certain percentage of units on the land be rental. So they're going to want it to be rental on specific parts of land in the city. Forced existing rental properties to remain rental only after redevelopment. Wow. So the city is giving power to this to allow certain areas to be... Wow. The changes were promised by the government in February's budget as a part of its 30-point housing plan. We are committed to ensuring that local governments have the supports, the resources, and information they require to decide how they can best address the housing needs in their community, said Robinson. This is very, very, very interesting. Cracking down on flipping and pre-sales. The government also brought forward 2 other pieces of legislation on Tuesday related to the housing. One amends the Real Estate Development Marketing Act, forcing real estate developers to report when a condo unit is flipped prior to the completion of construction, and allowing the Office of Superintendent of Real Estate investigate if there is evidence as such information is not being disclosed. Penalties had increased more than 1,000%, up to $250,000 fines for individuals and $500,000 for corporations not complying with requirements. If criminal charges are laid, fines will be up to $1.25 million for individuals or corporations in first conviction, and up to $2.5 million for second conviction. Wow, this is news, people. This is huge. So they're looking at rezoning areas here to make it rental-only areas. So this is a big story. This is by CBC News, Canadians Broadcasting Crap. And right here, BC government to give cities power to create rental-only zoning. This is not bad. This is going to cut down on the flipping and kind of cool down things. Good news, people. I got some good news. Another good news article. Buying a home in Vancouver is getting easier, but only if you're a millionaire. Here goes, guys. Oh, hold on. Okay. Buying a home in Vancouver is getting easier, but only if you're a millionaire. Yep, USA that. New members from the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation show you're less likely to face a bidding war if you're searching for a more expensive home. Okay, guys, so yeah, so that condo right there I'm pointing at right there, that's like 800 grand, 900 grand. Vancouver, new numbers to be released Thursday by Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation show buying a home in Vancouver is getting easier if you happen to have more than $1 million budget for the purpose. Typically, demand for high-end homes has played the biggest role in price increases within the housing market, explained CMHC market analysis Keith Stewart in an interview. Okay, for sure, that was the case followed by financial crisis, he said. Not so anymore. The segment of the housing market that is leading price increases consists of home priced up to, but not exceeding $1 million. By the end of March 2018, the proportion of Metro Vancouver's housing inventory priced above $1 million far exceeded the sales of home prices in the price range, while the reverse was true for home priced less than $1 million. Whew. And guys, actually want to send out my condolences, prayers, because of this Yahoo here, in this banana here in Toronto, on Yonge Street. You don't need me to fill in the information or fill in the blanks. You guys know what happened. And I don't know what to say, guys. I was very emotional yesterday when I made that video about what happened in Toronto. It was the day before. Today's Wednesday, so it was Tuesday I made the video. I just want to send my condolences and prayers to the families. I'm really sorry that this happened. And yeah, it's all over the news. It's still all over the news, and I can't sensitize to this kind of violence. I just can't accept it. Not in Canada. I can't accept this. This is not acceptable. This is not acceptable behavior from anybody. I don't care who they think they are, who they want to be, or who they imagine themselves to be. If someone else wants to imagine something they're not, I think they should be in a friggin' mental hospital. Video, Sam Sullivan blames government politics, not Chinese buyers, for high Vancouver housing prices. That's exactly, this is from the Georgia Strait, from Vancouver, and this is very true. Because it's the government policy. Here, let's find this here. Let's watch this.
A battle over who is to blame for high house prices has pitted Vancouver academics against Ottawa economists. One side blames Chinese immigrants and foreigners. The other says lack of supply is exacerbating local forces. Vancouver media have dedicated over 100 articles to the Vancouver studies. The Ottawa research, only 5. One side recommends demand suppression, especially against outsiders. The other says increase supply by repealing government anti-housing policies. Today, 69% blame foreigners for high prices. Only 18% believe anti-housing policies are to blame. Many media support the popular theory that China's wealthy have had more impact than anything on affordability. Even after CMHC revealed less than 5% of homes were owned by non-residents. The BC government has endorsed the theory that outsiders are to blame. What we know with absolute certainty is money raised in other parts of the world is distorting our housing market. Government is imposing protectionist taxes on outsiders, other Canadians, and even British Columbians with second homes. These rules are penalizing Americans, even while U.S. protectionism is threatening our economy. Homeowners must report to the government where they have been and provide proof of how many days they have spent in their homes, information to be shared with other government agencies. What evidence does each side offer? One Vancouver study draws conclusions by looking at the way homebuyers spell their names. Another notes that Canada invited wealthy Chinese to immigrate, that they bought expensive homes while house prices were rising, and concludes one caused the other. They dismiss the real estate board claim that prices are mostly strong job growth, population growth, and low mortgage rates. Yet they've failed to explain how a fraction of a percent added annually to the population could have such enormous effects. The Ottawa economists begin their study by reminding everyone that the presence of wealthy people does not raise prices. First, they develop a model for the stock and flow of the housing market with equations. 30 PhD economists using massive data sets from Stats Canada and a $1.5 million budget set to work, crunching numbers for almost a year. They found that by plugging in just 3 variables, income, population, and mortgage rates, their model predicted 75% of Vancouver's rising house prices, exactly what the real estate board had claimed. Then they went to look for the other 25%. They found it in the elasticities of housing supply. Vancouver has a shockingly inelastic supply curve, the worst in Canada. Edmonton, Montreal, and Calgary have healthy elasticities. Toronto is deficient at 0.5, but Metro Vancouver is abysmal at almost 0.25. Geography and anti-house supply policies are responsible for most of the rest of the price rises. Government cannot control geography, so government policies are to blame. These economists had identified the causes of Vancouver's high house prices without a single reference to Chinese people. Almost all rising house prices were due to income, population, mortgage rates, and geography, all amplified by government anti-housing policies. Contrary to popular belief, the report finds that speculation and investment demand have little impact on prices. Indeed, the calculations confirm the gap between predicted and actual prices is from supply restrictions. In fact, the report cautions government against targeting speculators, saying investors could be encouraging more supply than demand. It should be noted that most people in Metro Vancouver live in housing built by speculators, called spec housing. What does the head researcher urge us to do? Find ways to increase supply. The research notes that Vancouver and Toronto have the strictest government anti-housing policies, rating highest on the Regulation Constraint Index. Yet Vancouver has a much lower densification rate than Toronto and Montreal. A house demolition elsewhere is replaced by a condo building. In Vancouver, it is replaced by a larger house. And Vancouver has a distinct lack of 3 and 4 bedroom condos. Vancouver first-time buyers have a high rate of family support. The report also encourages flexible housing systems for the new mobile agglomeration economy that stretches beyond city and even national borders. Might this economy require job creators to have more than one home? Government unwillingness to deal with supply is creating a society of haves and have-nots. The report notes preserving enclaves of single detached housing will increase wealth inequality. They report alarmingly that in Vancouver, no home buyers believe the value of their homes will decline in the next 12 months. Governments must act carefully on facts, not on myths, if we are to get out of the current situation without precipitating an economic crisis. Blaming Chinese for problems has a long and disgraceful history in British Columbia. 100 years ago, the complaint was that Chinese men worked here and sent their money back to their families in China. Today, they complain the opposite. Chinese men make money in China and send money to their families here. Most troubling is that government housing policy appears to be based on research that scapegoats ethnic minorities and is demonstrated to be false. And it does the very things that economists recommend against. How fortunate we are that so many skilled economists with the budget required have shed light on this issue that is so important to our economy, quality of life.
Okay, guys, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think on that. Really good article, really good insights. But the problem is, the one thing that kind of not debunks it, but kind of throws it off, is that there's lots of people living in mansions in Vancouver, but they're collecting welfare because their income is zero. So that kind of throws everything, that because there's actually quite a few people that are collecting government subsidies or benefits, if you want to call it. I'm not sure how you want to call it. But they're living in mansions. And that's kind of throwing everyone for a curveball. So that's how is the money needs to be coming in from somewhere, right? So, you know. So anyways, someone's saying in the comment section, Chinese use the shell companies to buy. Yeah, there's a lot of shell companies out there. So that's one point of view. Just so that I'm not restricted or putting myself to one point of view only, and not looking or accepting other forms of constructive criticism. So that was a good video. I hope you guys like that. And this one won't let me read because they want me to pay 99 cents for it. Stephen Pelosi says Canada's housing market is okay, so why worry? So guys, I can't read this because I have to be I actually have to pay them to read this. So freedom of the free press is... Let's see if I can get... So... Okay, here we go. Canada's housing market is okay, so why worry? Okay, hold on. We gotta put this in here. We gotta put this in here. Yeah, baby. Woo! So yes, Canada's housing market is okay. What are you worrying for? During the worst of the U.S. real estate collapse in 2008, the Miami skyline was a grim barometer of deteriorating market conditions. By day, everything looked just fine, and the mirrored facades and newly built condos would shimmer across the waters of Biscayne Bay. Nighttime exposed the unfortunate truth, dark, empty towers containing thousands of unsold, foreclosed, abandoned units. I remember when this started to happen in Florida, lockboxes on every condo door, fire marshal eviction notices. It's like, oh my God. And guys, let's get off the religion there in the chat section, please. We're not here to discuss religion today, please. We're here to discuss the trends in the housing market. So I'm not even going to waste my time reading this. If they believe that the housing market is normal and it's good, then I guess people in this boat don't have to worry, right? And then another global mail, I'm not going to deal with it. So let's contradict what was said in the other video that we just saw. contradicts what was said here. Toronto foreign buyer home sales dropped 2.5% of real estate purchases. Very interesting. So see here, it's after Toronto put in all that stuff against foreign buyers, what happened was there was just a collapse in the housing price, literally overnight. Literally overnight. The number of homes sold to foreign buyers in Toronto has dropped steadily over the years since the province introduced a 15% tax on such purchases, falling from 7.2% on sales to 2.5% over a 3-month period ending February. So this is Q1, okay, guys? New data from the province's finance minister showed the continuing to fall in foreign purchases as house prices in Toronto, once red-hot housing market, have stabilized after a sharp decline that began last April when the Premier Kathleen Wynne Liberals government introduced a foreign buyers tax as part of a package of housing measures called the Fair Housing Plan. So if it's not foreign buyers, why after it gets implemented everything goes to the pits and everything collapses? After Vancouver put on the foreign buyers tax, a lot of people went south to Seattle, or which we're going to be talking about in a few minutes. Washington State, a lot of them, the ones that went to Washington State are booming right now. The investors that went over to Toronto kind of are in a bit of trouble right now. But the ones that went south to the US, woo! They're doing well, and we'll get to that right now. The average price of a home in Greater Toronto was just no more than $920,000 last April. By March of this year, it has fallen to around $785,000, a decline of more than 14%, driven by plummeting sales. So, is foreign investing or speculation manipulating the markets, or is it not? According to what's happened in Toronto, once they put in those laws, yeah, it's definitely speculator and foreign buyers. According to what's happened in Toronto and the research that was given, they put these really stringent plans in Toronto to make sure, to make sure that people could, I don't know how to say it, to make sure that. Sorry, the comment section's on fire. Everybody is, everyone needs to calm down in the comment section, please. I'm gonna ask, please, could everyone please calm down in the comment section, please. This is not nice what's going on here. I'm not gonna be banning everyone from my channel, but I need everyone to retard their anger. Please retard your anger. Bring it back. While tax is having an impact on the market in Toronto, the overall effect is limited, according to John Pasilis, president of Softly Realty Inc. This isn't the solution by all means to Toronto's affordability issues, but it certainly helps it, he said. So that's what's happening, people. Those sold... Oh, let's watch this. Let's see if this damn thing plays. Oh, there's music in this one, so let me mute it down. This one only has talking. So let's play this video. It says here, StatsCan figures suggest that foreign buyers aren't the biggest factor in driving up the prices in Canada and the two largest markets. And then it goes on to say, a new report say non-residents own 3.4% of all residential properties in Toronto. In Vancouver, non-residents own 4.8% of residential properties. StatsCan defines non-residents as foreigners and Canadians whose principal residents are outside of Canada. The StatsCan report shows that non-residents tend to own a greater share of the condo market than the detached home market. Non-residents own 7.9% of condos in Vancouver and 7.2% of condos in Toronto. Non-residents also tend to own more expensive condos. According to the Canadian Real Estate Association Housing Price Index, prices surged nearly 175% in Vancouver from January 2005 to November 2017. In Toronto, prices are up 145% in the same period. A voter backlash spurred provincial government to impose a foreign buyer's tax in Vancouver in 2016 and Toronto in 2017. So that's the Globe and Mail. So I want to know what you guys think and your opinions. What do you guys see happening? Because it has to be like... The answer to finding out is very simple. Look at Toronto, look at Seattle. Toronto's got all these laws put on, market went kaput. Seattle, we're going to get to very soon after we punch out Ontario here really quick. Ontario real estate tax curb foreign buyers. Again, number of sales involving foreign entity has steadily declined since the province introduces non-resident speculation tax. So what is happening, people? Again, this is the same, pretty much the same article. And another one. Threat of condo cancellation looms over pricey Toronto housing market. So what's happened is a lot of people have been losing or been given back their down payments because they're no longer going to sell them. Oh, we're going to get to California soon. Don't worry, Metal Gear Mark III. I am with you. Anyways, so this is what's happening. So people that put down payments in their place from a couple of years ago and they're going to break ground and they're going to have their place to live have been given back refunds because the price of the value of the price is so much more higher than what they purchased for. But now they get their refunds back. And then now they get nothing. They don't get to buy the place that's accumulated equity over all this time. But if it goes down below the value and you want your money and you want to walk away from the deal, they sue you. So it's like a bad cell phone plan. You're screwed. You got to pay it out or you have to figure something out. You know? So look at this, guys. Hey, I'm going to buy a condo. Wow, how much is this? $260 for a 3-bedroom, sir? And we'll be breaking ground in a year and you'll be ready in 3 years. Wow, how much do I put down? You put your down payment down. You're so excited that everything around you is going up in price, and you're like, wow, I really bought it at the right time. By the time this thing's done, I could just probably sell it and walk away with $100,000 in my pocket. Boom. Yeah, we're not going to be building this anymore, or we're going to be rezoning it to a different name or a different corporation. Here's your refund back, and good luck. Now you want to buy, you got your refund back, your down payment, but everything's up $100,000, $200,000, so you can't even buy into the market anymore. So you see how it works? It's like a really bad cell phone plan. Like, what is this? Let's move on. Seattle hates 18 months as nation's hottest housing market with no signs of slowing down. If you do the math, I think it's 17 or 18 months since the foreign buyer's tax was put into Vancouver. And half the investors went south to Seattle, and the other half went to Toronto. So, if anybody went to Seattle and is watching this from the north, good on you, because you made the right choice in the right city to invest in. 18 straight months. If you do the math, it goes back to the day or the month where they put the foreign buyer's tax in Vancouver. Look at the math. Probably a few weeks off, shy, but people will have to take it in. Seattle has held the title of the nation's hottest housing market for 18 months and counting, as continued population growth powered by region's tech boom and few available homes keep prices soaring. If anybody in the comment section could look up how many empty or vacant homes they have in the city of Seattle and the Seattle greater Seattle area, GSA, if someone could look up how many empty homes they have there or vacant homes, I'd like to know in the comment section. And if no one gets it, if someone could comment in the comments below when this is on replay. According to the latest update from the Case Shiller National Home Price Report, Seattle home prices in February rose 12.7% over the same period a year ago. The report, that's like $40,000 in 1 month increase. Hold on, guys. I got something for this. Hold on. Okay, all right. So that's like if you had a house, depending on what it was like 40 to 70 grand in a month. So the investors that went south after that implement tax was roughly 18 months ago. The ones that went south made the right choice. The ones that went east of Toronto are crying the blues, right? So according Seattle home prices in February 12.7%. Let's go far. The report follows data released by the Northwest Multiple Listing Service earlier this month, showing the median price for a home in Seattle jumped to $819,000 in March, gaining nearly $43,000 in value over the last month's record numbers. $43,000 from last month's record numbers. Anyways, so someone's commenting, why USA chant, not Canada? Well, it's because we're talking about Seattle here. So $43,000 in value over the last month's numbers. Seattle, the whole West Coast, it's selling itself out to the highest bidders. So if anybody knows how many empty homes are in the Seattle, greater Seattle area, I would like to know in the comments, please, if anyone has that. According to GeekWire contributor, home prices are up 24% over 2007 peak prior to the recession. The Seattle Times and home prices have risen 85% since local housing market bottomed out in 2012. Nationwide, home prices rose 6.8% in the last year. Prices nationally are up for the past 70 months, dating back to May 2012. The kind of sustained rapid home price growth we've been seeing in Case-Shiller and other indices for past few years is enough to give home buyers of all stripes a headache. So there are some signs of hope for buyers in the national level. A Zillow report released this morning found that new home inventory passed the threshold of 300,000 available units for the second month in a row, the first time this happened since the spring of 2009. More inventory is the one cure sure to take the edge off, and there are some faint signals in more recent data. A shift may be coming. Inventory and existing homes have risen for the past 3 months, and construction activity at its highest point. So this is good for the U.S. If the U.S. experiences a crash, I recommend everybody to go down and buy 5-6 properties, because they don't have crown land. They don't have crown land, so they're not limited on where to build. So they could just rip it open and just start building. Half the units stay empty, everyone leaves the cities, and it becomes complete ghost towns, and it'd be entertaining to see what happens. If there is a crash amidst this, with the massive supply, man, you go down to Seattle, you go down to Portland, Oregon, you buy 5-6 condos, wait for the market to bounce, paint them up, clean them up a bit, wait for the market to bounce back, boom, then start renting them out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's a really precarious situation. Seattle hits 18 months as nation's hottest housing market with no signs of slowing down. And if you look at the math, it's about 18 months since the foreign buyers tax was implemented. And this is my speculation and what I believe. A lot of investors went south to Seattle, and then the ones that went out east to Toronto are crying the blues. Let's keep going. Evicted over $49. This was sent to me from Ronica and Dave watching in Seattle. Thank you, Ronica and Dave, who are watching in Seattle. So, Jason just commented and makes a lot of sense. The problem with Canada is the tax brackets to keep everyone somewhat equal in what they get paid. Very true. Evicted over $49. What happens when Seattle's poorest tenants can't make rent? So, this is from today's date. Dominic fell behind on rent, the 2-week pay, or vacate. Notice landed on his apartment door in February. He owed $155.20. For others, it's been less, $49, $50, and $95. Andres live in Bay's 7-story Capitol Hill apartment building owned and operated by Seattle Housing Authority. He spent 3 years waiting for a space in Seattle's rare public housing. Now that he's there, he lives precariously, partially blind since birth. Oh, wow. Andres lives off Social Security and food stamps. He readily admits that he's missed rent before, sometimes because of unexpected bills. This time, he says, his food stamps disbursement decreased and he fell behind. When he did get the money together to pay his rent in March, SHA had already filed a case against him in King County Superior Court. They're giving me an option. You can move out if you want to, Andres said. I have no place to live. Wow. Eviction is destabilizing experience for anyone, but the stakes for those in public housing are particularly high. SHA and King County Housing Authority primarily serve people making $28,000 or less for a family of 4. Rent is usually set to 30% of the income. Because of that, public housing tenants can face eviction for financial sums that appear surprisingly small, but can quickly become insurmountable. Wow. Wow. 84 eviction cases. Wow. And we're talking about people. Guys, we're not talking about $2-3 grand here. We're talking $49, $50, and $95. And everyone's joining the chat here. So that's that. So people evicted over 49 bucks. And this one was sent to me from people watching me in Portland. That's from Rachel in Portland, Oregon. East Portland, Senate race could change Oregon's housing laws. And do you know why this article is very important? Because Portland, Oregon is also going up in just like Seattle, the whole West Coast is going up beyond anyone's affordability, and people's rents are coming due, or the renewing rents are coming up. People's mortgages are coming up, rates are going up, things are changing, and affordability is not there anymore. And people would go to Portland back in the day for affordability when they couldn't afford to live in California back in the day. So up 40, 50 years ago, people that couldn't afford to live in San Francisco or other bigger cities like that, they would move up to Oregon usually, right? And now it's changed. People cannot afford to live in Oregon anymore, and they're heading east towards like Nevada, Montana, that way. So that's become a big problem. So I wanted to bring this article up. It is very long, but the reason why I brought it up too is because if you want to run in politics, and let's say you want to become governor of Oregon, okay? All you have to, your platform has to be based off housing. Senate race, Oregon's housing laws. That's it. That's all it takes. You want to get voted in, and you want to talk about, oh, Mr. Governor, what would you do about schooling in your district? Let's talk affordable housing. Let's talk about housing made fair. Mr. Senator, what would you do about hospitals in your area? Now, the price of houses, that's all you talk about. Screw everything else. All you talk about is housing, because that will get you voted in, and that will get you a seat in Parliament, because that is what people want fixed, is housing. San Diego, here I come. Hold on. Okay, San Diego home prices hits new record high, $550,000. So, San Diego's going up in price. And a lot of people in Australia are like, what? A house like that in Australia is like $2 million. It's like, yeah, it's still kind of affordable in some states. Kind of. You could kind of make it in some states, you know. Like in the West Coast, you kind of forget it. But the further east you go, it gets very affordable. Except New York, of course. And Boston, Massachusetts. And Boston's getting very expensive. I got a lot of people Email me. And I have Lester in Boston, Massachusetts, who works as a janitor at UMass, University of Massachusetts, burning the night shift oil with Mike Martins off at midnight. And yeah, a lot of people watching this show. Show's doing really well. So, San Diego County median home prices soared to the highest point ever, $550,000. That doesn't even buy you a one-bedroom in Vancouver, guys. So, it is starting to go up in the U.S. In March, said the real estate tracker CoreLogic, home prices increased 6.8% in a year, which experts attribute to lack of homes for sale and strong economy. The previous home peak, $545,000 in June. The big picture is San Diego County's median home price is technically still down from the height of the housing boom in November 2005. The median hit $570,500, which is more than $650,000 when adjusted to inflation. So here it is here. And you can see the graph right here. So if you picked up in just around the crash, after the crash in 08, it picked up in 2009. Oh, you'd be sitting tight right now. Sitting tight in San Diego. 280 large, that's 310,000 Canadian. And what is causing... No, 343,000 Canadian, I'm sorry. What is the causing prices increase? A strong economy is fueling demand for homes, while a number of houses available remains limited. So, remember... what we were talking about last week, how many empty homes there were in San Diego was like, what, 30,000? It was a crazy amount of empty homes in San Diego. Someone's commenting, North Van, rent here. I bought a property in Hope 2 years ago, and now it's worth double. Should I sell? You know what, Josh? I can't give financial advice because I can't even read. You got to go with your heart. And remember what our great Donald Trump said. Some of the best deals you do in life are the ones you don't do at all. Some of the best business deals you do are the ones you don't do at all. So it's important that you guys understand that. It's all up to you, Josh, whatever you want to do. My house here, I got my assessment. I bought it for $260, and I think it's worth it. This house is huge, man. I got room. I'm gonna build a theater room. I'm gonna watch. You got. I'll show you guys my gym again. I did some upgrades in my gym, all the machines and everything, and weight racks and everything. I did really good upgrades on my gym. I have all the mirrors now put up, all my mirrors in my gym, and then now I'm gonna do a nice theater room with some acoustic speakers. And I'm not trying to show off. I left the city. I came out and I bought in a small town. You know? And someone's commenting, may move out there eventually. Well, if you want to move out there eventually, then hold on to it. And, you know, if it's worth double, you can sell, and then market dips, and then rebuy again, and then you keep off your profit. That's how I usually do my stocks. My stock goes up really high. I usually sell what I put into it and then wait for it to go back down and then buy it back again. I've been doing that for years with stocks, so I don't know. With housing to me is more of a place where you want to raise your family, have a base to buy your stocks, and run your eBay business so people can rip you off on and do other things, right? So that's what a house to me is, a base. Here's my family. Here are my kids. My kids' school's right here. I could walk to work. This is my base. And then I could start situating everything, not build money off my house. You know what I'm saying? So, this is what's happening. So, let's go over this. What is causing price increases? A strong economy is fueling demand for homes while the number of houses available remains limited, said Chris Tromberg, economist and founding partner of Beacon Economists. There were 4,857 listed for sale in March, said the Greater San Diego Association of Realtors. That was 488 more than March of last year. However, those listings were down 5,652 in March in 2016. In 2015, 6,223 in 2014. So someone's asking, are we in a housing bubble? No, economists say. Today's upswing is more sustainable, driven by risky lending, not driven by risky lending, but by improving economy, low mortgage rates, and a shortage of homes for sale. So apparently economists down in San Diego say that they're not in a bubble, but 550,000 for the average home in San Diego, I don't think that's too bad. I don't think it's great, but I don't think it's horrible on the other side. So let's keep going. LA home prices are soaring and homes are flying off the market. Money, 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 money. The news isn't good for Los Angeles house hunters. New data shows that prices keep going up and homes keep flying off the market. The report of Pacific Union International found the median price of a home price across the brokerage market stood at $910,000 in March, and 14% higher than the same period last year. The data spans homes from San Gabriel Valley and west side for San Fernando Valley. The rise in prices is largely because of the lack of supply, according to Pacific Union's chief economist, Salem Hepp. The last time we saw the levels was in 2013, one of the strongest years for prices in LA, and the inventory is about half the level it was then, Hepp said. Competition for homes is tight across the city. The data found homes are selling around 30 days, almost 1 week less than they did last year, and 45% of homes sold above asking price from 38% a year ago. Affordable homes, in particularly, are scarce. Sales of homes below $1 million dropped by 17% last year. Inventory is rapidly disappearing, Hepp said. By contrast, sales of homes in the next highest brackets between 2 and 3 million were up 20%. They were up 28% from homes listed above $3 million. So that's what's happening, people, in Los Angeles. Prices keep going up. And this is from the Los Angeles Real Estate News. So, guys, I want you guys to remember something before I wrap things up here. I need you guys to... someone's asking me about Brisbane, Australia, global economy. I started at the beginning of the show, guys, with Australia right here. Prices, property dips. 1 in 5 Australians have no cash. Lots of stuff. So I started off with Australia. So let's see what this person's saying. Brisbane, Australia, global economy. Let's see what's happening there in Brisbane. I didn't mention Brisbane. All right, news. Okay, this one looks good. This was posted 14 hours ago. What 400,000 buys you in Australia's capital cities in 2018? Sydney. Well, that's not too bad. 2-bedroom property, Lower McDonald, 370. Two-bedroom in St. Mary's. That's in Santa Maria. Let's look at it again from better. Come on, scroll up. That's Santa Maria there. And then 385,000 Campbelltown townhouse. Art Deco apartment building. 370. 370,000. So you can still snag a few things for under 400,000. Oh wow, this goes on for days. Look at that. Someone's saying St. Mary's as a whole. Thank you for giving me an update. Because I don't know, right? I haven't been to Santa Maria, so it's good to know. But no, pricing is, it's in the first 3 articles I read and what's happening. Guys, if you have articles you want me to read, just go to my Facebook fan page on Facebook, or you could follow me on Instagram and then message me on Instagram and send me an article in your neck of the woods. And someone's commenting, banks want 20% deposit. Yeah, in some places it's 30 and 40, and I'm hearing rumors in France they're going to want a huge deposit too. I'm not too sure why, but that's pushing away the locals from buying locally, right? And then someone's saying, but those places listed are the equivalent of moving out to Merritt. So what you're trying to say is like they're way out of, these places are way out of, like you're trying to say they're in the sticks. There's one here on Grieville Street. It's under 400,000. There's this one here. Bank Apartments on Burke Street. It's another one that's under 400. The apartment features a spiral, so no one cares. 6th floor apartment, 382. The Grand Hotel building, 1893. Wow, they probably converted it. That's pretty spiffy. Brisbane. So this is for Brisbane, which you can get for 400,000. 3-bedroom in Acadia Ridge. 390,000 apartment Trentry, Fortitude Valley. Come on, baby, come on. $400,000 apartment in Brisbane City. Oh, here's a house. 400,000 in Danielle. I'm not sure where that is. That's a nice home right there. It's nothing special, but 3-bedroom, 385, yeah. Like a house like this is worth about 280, 300,000. Like that's, I mean, that's not, I mean, that's realistically what that would be worth. This house in Vancouver is like $1.4 million. So, oh, it's got a pool too. Look at that. Stylish City Edge apartment. Yeah, so like these apartments in the city of Vancouver or North Van, like these kind of apartments like this, they're like $850 like to $1 million. So, ooh, look at this house. So there's some nice homes here too. Nothing seriously, you know, sticking out. Oh, that looks pretty cool. Looks like it's by a highway though. The Nishi building in Action. I don't know where. Oh, Acton, Australia. I'm sorry, Acton. So I guess they put this article out. I guess they put this article out so people could see that there's affordable housing in Australia, but in reality, it's a gong show out there. I know it's a gong show out there. I know. Like, I see the cranes. I see what's going on. So, guys, if you can, yeah, it's hard to sleep with traffic at night. Guys, if you can, send me articles to my fan page on Facebook. You could also hit me up on Instagram. And if you want to be on the show and you want me to call you and you have a specific topic of the housing sector, and if you live in one of these countries that we're mentioning, please send me an email or contact me through Facebook or contact me, and we could talk, and then we could get you on the show. So if you want to discuss what's happening in your neck of the woods, I'm going to start calling around and getting people to come on the show and see who wants to discuss what is happening in their neck of the woods. Anyways, guys, I'm tired. I got a ton of things I need to pack to ship out tomorrow that I sold on eBay today. And it's been really busy at the store too. So I'm tired. I'm beat. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Someone's commenting, land prices in Australia are almost as much as buying a pre-built house. Then you have to build your house. It blows your costs way up. Oh, for sure. Ciao, guys. See ya. God bless everybody. Thank you for watching. And any art thing you want to send it to me, please. Thanks for watching, guys. Good night. Good night. Thank you.